Okay, let's dive in. You've shared some really interesting sources with us about Ceres.
Yeah, the discovery and naming, right, way back in 1801.
Exactly. And there's quite a story there, isn't there? About the name, even the symbol they first thought of.
Definitely. Lots to unpack from the material you sent.
So our mission here is to get into those details. Piazzi finding it, what they thought it was, why Ceres, and, well, the logic behind that symbol idea.
Sounds good. Let's jump in.
Okay, so, pulling from your sources. Giuseppe Piazzi, 1801, that's the discovery.
Right.
But what really stands out is what he thought he'd found. Your sources mention he didn't jump straight to asteroid, did he?
No, not at all. I mean, at that point, the term wasn't even really solidified in the way we use it now. He actually considered it, well, a planet.
A planet. Okay, that makes sense for the time, I guess.
It does. You find a significant new object out past Mars, orbiting the sun. Calling it a planet was the logical first step based on what they knew.
And your sources place it nicely in context, too, saying it was one of the first big asteroid discoveries?
Yeah, one of the first four major ones found in the early 19th century. It was a period where our picture of the solar system was definitely getting more crowded, you could say.
Oh, yeah, more complicated. So, fascinating how that view changed. Now, the naming. This is where your sources get particularly interesting. Piazzi and his colleagues landed on Ceres. Was there a clear reason why, according to the material you shared?
Oh, absolutely. The sources are quite specific. They named it for Ceres, the Roman goddess.
Okay, standard mythology link?
Well, yes, but specifically the goddess of corn and tillage, agriculture. That was the key connection they highlighted. Not just any goddess.
Ah, okay. Goddess of agriculture. That adds a layer. But then the symbol? That part feels like, I don't know, a different kind of thinking, but still linked somehow.
It is. This is maybe the most intriguing bit from your sources. Piazzi apparently suggested its symbol may be a sickle.
A sickle? Why a sickle? What was the reasoning given in the sources?
Okay, so the justification connects directly to Saturn's existing symbol. The source says it's because the symbol of Saturn represents a scythe.
Wait, hang on. A sickle for Ceres because Saturn has a scythe? How does the whole agriculture goddess thing connect to that?
That's the really clever, or maybe unique part of their logic. See, Saturn, sometimes linked to time, also carries that scythe, right? Which can symbolize harvest, agriculture, that cyclical aspect.
Okay, I sort of see that.
And Ceres is explicitly the goddess of corn, of tillage agriculture. So they proposed a sickle, a smaller farming tool.
To mirror Saturn's scythe, the larger farming tool.
Exactly. They built this symbolic bridge between the two bodies based on that shared theme of agriculture, drawn from mythology. It's quite a layered connection, isn't
It
it?
really is. Mythology, farming tools, astronomy symbols, all woven together. It feels very specific to that time.
Very much so. It wasn't just, let's pick a symbol. It was this whole system they were trying to build, connecting things symbolically.
That's actually remarkable. It shows how they were trying to make sense of the cosmos using, well, everything they had available, classical knowledge, observation.
Yeah, and even sort of practical everyday things like tools. It shows astronomy wasn't totally separate, it was linked to culture, mythology.
It gives you a real feel for the scientific mindset back then, applying these different kinds of logic.
Definitely. The symbol was meant to mean something, to tell part of the story.
So let's recap this deep dive using your sources. We've got Piazzi's 1801 discovery of Ceres.
Which he initially thought might be a planet.
Right. Then the naming after Ceres, goddess of corn and tillage, that specific agricultural link.
And the most, perhaps, surprising detail, the proposed symbol, a sickle.
Chosen deliberately to echo Saturn's scythe symbol, tying both celestial bodies to agriculture via their mythological associations. It's all there in the material you provided.
It is. And looking at this whole picture, the discovery, the naming logic, that symbol idea, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, it prompts a thought for you, the listener. How does this blend of mythology, observation, and almost tool-based symbolism from the early 1800s stack up against how we name and maybe even think about celestial bodies today?
What does that very specific logic, linking goddesses, farming tools, and planetary symbols, tell us about the science and maybe even the culture of that era compared to now?
Exactly. It's a fascinating glimpse into how we saw the cosmos back then. Something to think about.